Oops, up off net. Up off net. Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you be? Could you please? Baby. My neighbor. Hi, neighbor. What's up, my people? This is ShowBizz the Adult. Alright, man, look. So, Errol the True Spence, Vergil Ortiz got a little Twitter beef. This is a reaction to the interview that caused it. Oops! Alright, man, look. Let's get to the video. First, I want to say this. I did my first reaction yesterday to this interview. Positive response. Thank you, you guys, for appreciating it and edging me on to do some more reactions. So thank you to everybody showing up, liking the video, making their comments. Hold on one second. I really appreciate that. Okay, so let's get to the video.
Let's go back a little bit in history. I remember when you fought on Thanksgiving weekend at the Bomb Factory in Dallas, and you were the first TV fight, probably fit about 2,500 people. To go from that, probably 4 or 5 years ago, to then fighting at AT&T Stadium. You're a diehard Cowboys fan. I feel like you are.
Hold on, I want to say this. Him saying that he remembers when, 4 or 5 years ago, he, going from, the humble beginnings to... The thing about Errol the True Spence is, I remember when no one really knew him. And he was a great fighter then. You heard of all the sparring sessions with Floyd Money Mayweather. Him pushing Floyd Money Mayweather. They said he gave him a black eye. Right? Them saying that, he knocked out Adrian Broner, the Problem, stuff like that. So you kind of heard about him before really getting to know Errol the True Spence. It's like, who is this guy, Errol Spence? So yeah, it's funny, I was watching Errol Spence, and I was on top of Errol Spence before, he became this Errol Spence. So for me, I kind of watched him come, start from being a guy's, you hearing whispers about this guy to being the #1 welterweight in the world. It is great, fascinating.
Good friends now with Jerry Jones and the Jones family to fighting Mikey Garcia last March. Nearly 50,000 people at AT&T Stadium. How much do you go back in and remember fondly that entire experience? Because for those that were not there and just on pay-per-view, the electricity in that stadium was off the charts.
Oh, man, it was crazy. It really is a dream come true. Like, it's a big dream come true. I was even nervous fighting at Frisco at the Star at the training facility in front of 16,000 people. I was nervous. Like, when they first told me I was going to fight there, I was going to fight my mandatory, and I was like, dang, he a nobody knows him. I'm like, you think I can do that myself? And they're like, yeah, yes.
Is he talking about the Ocampo fight? I think he may be talking about the Ocampo fight. And it's funny, him being transparent now, talking about how he was nervous then. I remember him saying that. I remember him saying, I'm more nervous now than fighting Kell Brook. And going overseas to fight Kell Brook. Me fighting back at home is giving me anxiety. He was talking about the pressures of it. He was always pretty transparent there, but I like hearing that. You hear enough of fighters talking about nobody could beat me, all this machismo, all these things, and saying impervious to all these things. But when they break down, show that they're vulnerable. Mike Tyson, in his book, this book right here, The Undisputed Truth, he did that a lot, talking about how he was actually scared and stuff like that. It's good to see that, to look at these fighters because they're human. They have all those human emotions. So it's good to, him speaking that transparent, saying that he was nervous.
They said this, I sell it out and stuff like that. And then once I sold that out, and then it was like, yo, you finna fight at AT&T Center.
Finna. Oh boy, country in the mug.
I didn't think, that many people was gonna come. And once they came, I was humbled, and I was very, appreciative of everybody coming and supporting me. And even if they didn't come and support me and support Mike Garcia, they still kind of watched me fight. So, I was real thankful of everybody coming out and just supporting, my fight with my name on it. So,
I like that.
I mean, it was a dream come true. I was super excited. I was on a high for probably about 3 weeks. Like, man, I was like, man, this is my city.
Right. Then the arrogance comes in. Hey, hold on, this is my city. You know what I mean? Hey, look, I'm taking over. So yeah, that happens, and then things humble you later. And you don't really know what's better. I think it's a good balance to be arrogant, confident, whatever you want to call it, cocky, whatever you want to call it, and being humble. You got to have that balance, okay? And it's hard to have that balance when you're so young. You become it. Being arrogant, being cocky and confident, that's because you're experiencing new things and things that you dreamt about. Now you're there and you don't know how to handle it because you're immature. Now I'm seeing a level of maturity here. Hopefully he's grown. I'm pretty sure with each advancing year you're gonna grow, hopefully. So no. It's good to hear all those things coming from Errol the True Spence.
I can't wait to fight there again. I feel like
who would be the right opponent? Who would be the right
Ah,
opponent for you to fight there again? Because it has to be the right opponent, right? So who would you want to fight at AT&T Stadium again if you got your opportunity?
Man, me and Pacquiao will probably do 100,000.
that's right. That's about right.
So
That's about right.
AT&T Stadium, I think Pacquiao will be the perfect opponent.
Where do you like fighting more? I know you're a Dallas kid. They're different venues all over the world, but Las Vegas is very special. People want to headline in Vegas, but where is your favorite place to fight? Is it AT&T Stadium?
Definitely at home now. I used to be nervous. Fighting at home. Like,
That's what I just said.
Like, you get nervous, especially because you fight in front of family and friends. You fight in front of family and friends and people that have been knowing you since the.
See, some people that revs them up, that get them hyped fighting around people they know. Some people get nervous and anxious fighting around family and friends because they got so much, riding on you, and they're sitting right there. That's how I feel when giving presentations, okay, at school or at work or at college or whatever. I always felt more nervous when it was friends at the presentation, because I'm going to hear about it later. You know what I'm saying? But when there's nobody I know there, it was always easier for me. So I can kind of relate to what he's saying with people being there. But that's experience. He's grown. He's had a couple fights at home. So now he's getting comfortable. That's all. Just keep doing it. You'll get comfortable.
The first grade, school teachers and stuff like that. So, you're super nervous, but I like fighting at home. I definitely like fighting at home. There's a lot of love fighting at home, especially like the ring interest and you looking in the crowd, you seeing people that you've seen before. And, they're cheering for you, rooting for you. You just feel the love.
You go ahead and I'm sure the energy, the electricity. There's a kid in your area.
That's my guy.
He says he's about 2 years away from fighting you, Vergil Ortiz Jr.
Oh!
He went ahead and he posted a photo.
Here we go.
A kid with you, and you're obviously more, higher on the food chain. But do you kind of like the fact that these prospects are calling you out? They're like, I want to fight Spence, because I remember you were like that years ago when you were coming up.
I mean, it just shows they're hungry. That's what it's about. I mean, you gotta show that you're hungry. You gotta show that that you want the top dog and you willing to take their spot. And as for me, that keeps me on my toes because a younger guy, willing to take. He wants what's mine. He wants what's mine.
Yeah, he does.
He's willing to work hard and he willing to do whatever it takes to do to.
That's a bad boy.
So for me, that's good because me and Vergil started at the same gym, Rural Boxing Gym. We had the same coach and everything, and just to see him get to that point, it's great seeing because I remember him as a little kid, little crybaby kid. He's crying. But now to see him get to this point, and
That's it. That's the comment. That's the comment. He was a little kid, little crybaby kid. That's the comment right there. Vergil didn't like that. Vergil Ortiz didn't like that. Now, here's the thing. I do feel that Errol Spence didn't mean anything by it. Okay? So, okay, all right. Let me tell you what this looks like. Errol, the true Spence, is probably telling the truth. I know Vergil Ortiz said that he was lying. He was probably telling the truth. He remembered when he was a little kid, kind of, maybe there was a time or 2 or 3 where he was crying and the coaches was telling him, you know, hey, that makes sense. If you take any kid into wrestling, combat sports, football, there's going to be a cry moment here or there when you're a kid. So it's natural what he's saying. And you know, he said he remembered when he was a little crybaby kid. The thing is, Vergil Ortiz don't like that because right now I'm a man. I'm a bad boy right now. Okay, you don't have to bring up when I was a. You know what that reminds me of? Have any of you guys? I'm pretty sure you have. Remember that scene on Goodfellas, right? When my man said, was it Bugsy? I forget his name. They end up killing him, right? When he was like, hey, now go get the shoe shine box. Remember that? When he was like, hey, I remember this kid used to make your shoes look like mirrors. And my man was just like, hey, no shoe shines anymore. Remember that?
Hey, Tommy, if I was gonna break your balls, I'd tell you to go home and get your shine box. I used to call him Spit Shine Tommy. I swear to God. Oh, he make your shoes look like fucking mirrors.
I don't shine shoes anymore.
Relax, will you, for crying out? What's got into you? I'm breaking your balls a little bit, that's all. I'm only kidding with you.
Sometimes you don't sound like you're kidding. You know, there's a lot of people around.
That's what is going on now. Errol Spence is like, hey, I remember when he was a little crybaby kid. You know, now he want to come up a little bit. And Vergil Ortiz is like, hey, no shoe shine box anymore, Errol. So, hey, I'm feeling both.
you know, and looking to challenge me in about 2-3 years. It's good that he know that you know 2-3 years he might be ready. You know, but I don't see him. I don't see him. You know, beating me. But you know, much respect for him.
See, and I don't see him beat me. You see another. So it's the end. It's the end of that scene when my man said, "Hey, now go get your effing shoe shine box."
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Motherfucker!
Remember that? That's what he just did. That's what he just did. Yeah, you know, it's good to see him, you know, trying to come up or whatever, but he ain't gonna beat me. Go get your shoe shine box. That's what he did. That's what he did. I feel Ortiz a little bit. I feel Ortiz on that.
I think 15-0, 15 knockouts, 16-0, 16 knockouts. Much respect to him doing his thing and, you know, making Dallas look good and, you know, putting on for the city.
Errol, there have been talks about you, and when you talk about gyms, but you train with Derek James, that the wars that you have with Jermell Charlo.
Oh, hey, let's talk about
headline a pay-per-view if they could show those sparring sessions. Can you tell us about how much you love mixing it up with Jermell Charlo? Because
now that's what I was talking about. Those are the things that I was hearing about. The wars with him and Jermell Charlo. And because of Errol Spence, I've heard Jermell Charlo say he's hitting harder because of Errol the True Spence. Sitting down on his punches more. He was saying stuff, giving Errol Spence love. That's why I was like, man, Errol Spence may be too much for these welterweights. That's when I started thinking that. When you got a junior middleweight stuff like that talking about, hey man, you know, he punched so hard. He taught me how to sit down on my shots. You know, you're gonna have to be a Manny Pacquiao. You're gonna have to be Terrence Crawford, something like that, to really negate that power. Man, you know, I think Danny Garcia has a shot because he can counter you well. But guys like, you know, Ugas and stuff like, you know, I think he's a little bit too much for those boys. You know, you're gonna have to be upper echelon. And that's what I'm talking about. When I was talking about Errol, the True Spence, and Jermell Charlo, those wars they were having, how Jermell Charlo was talking about power and stuff like that. I mean, that was saying a lot about those men. And those boys are probably the same size. They're probably the same size.
he's a world champion, you're a world champion. You seem to both be at the top of your game.
That's my guy, Jermell. I mean, when Jermell, because like usually he's in training camp, but he's fighting before me. So I join his training camp and just train with him, and then go into my training camp. And
wow,
like Jermell, you know, he's strong. I think his power. I think he got a little bit more confidence in his power now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So he's looking good. I mean, me and his sparring, I can't say it's war. It's not wars every time. A lot of times it's real tactical, and we going tick for tack, and it's a great learning experience. Like they say, iron sharper iron, and it's definitely with him iron sharper iron because we're basically learning from each other, and what's the best sparring than sparring somebody that's a world champion too. So I mean, it's great work, and just having the experience he had and the experience that I have. We put in some good work, but
when he said that he sit down on his punches more now, got more confident in his punching power more now. Look, that's what I was saying. I'm not sure if you guys remember me talking about the Charlos, and I said they used to actually box better. They were technically more sound before. You see Jamel Charlo getting outboxed by Tony Harrison and stuff like that. Matt Korbuff and Jamal. Those boys were actually better boxers. They start falling in love with their power. And he was saying, hey man, he's saying that he'll knock everybody out now. He's feeling confident about his power. But the thing is, him feeling confident about his power has made him drop a few little things that he was actually doing better before. Those Charlo boys were boxers before. If you look at that knockout record, they don't have a very high knockout percentage, but they're known as power punchers. It's because they had a turn. The first half, they were boxing. This half, they're kind of like fighting. They're punching. They're slugging a little bit. That's what he's talking about. He's absolutely right.
But that's definitely Fox material. They can put that on as a fight.
Oh, the sparring sessions? Yeah.
Errol, how long do you see yourself here at 147? I know that you want to clean out the division. You want to be the undisputed, unified welterweight champion of the world. But do you think that going up in weight to 154, possibly even 160, is in your future? You're 30 years of age now. How long do you want to remain here at 147?
So I finish my goal, and then my goal is to become undisputed welterweight champion of the world. So
I think
when I become undisputed,
that's a Terrence Crawford move. That's yeah.
Then,
I think
I'll be standing at 147. I don't care if I got to cut a leg off.
I don't care if I cut the leg off. But you know what I'm saying? That's what Terrence Crawford. He was way too big for those boys and lightweight and junior welterweight and stuff like. Terrence Crawford was way too big for them boys. But he had unfinished business. He had to go ahead, become undisputed, do something people haven't done in a long time before moving up. And Terrence Crawford can probably make 154 now. But Terrence Crawford, he wants to be undisputed again and then move up. So I like that. There's a lot of fights on the table. If he moves up now, it's going to be like he moved away. Half the people are going to say he moved away from Terrence Crawford, Danny Garcia, Manny Pacquiao. He ran from those boys. That's what they're going to say. He didn't want that Sean Porter smoke again. That's what they're going to say. So he has to clean that welterweight division up if he can. Okay? He's going to have to do that before moving to 154. So I feel him. He's absolutely right. Unless he can become a franchise champion. If Heyman can leverage Errol Spence, and that's what I was saying before, who's the next franchise champion, you may be looking at him. If he become that franchise champion and he can move up and down and never lose his spot, then he can pull a Canelo. You know what I'm saying? But right now he doesn't have that privilege. So he's going to have to clean up the 147 weight class.
You've been, your advisor is Al Heyman. Al Heyman is the brains behind Premier Boxing Champions. They just turned 5 years old back.
Sugar Ray Robinson getting busy over there.
Tell us about what PBC has meant to you. And you've been one of the cornerstones of what PBC is all about and introducing it to the masses and, fighting on network television and now transitioning into being a pay-per-view fighter.
PBC meant a lot to me. I mean, just fighting on Fox and the exposure I was getting, the exposure I was getting as 5-0, 6-0, 7-0.
Yeah, that's true. He was on TV. Yeah, Errol, he was on TV.
On Fox, just the exposure, every fight.
Kind of like Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather's on TV. Every fight was on TV.
Out, which was 1 or 2 times, for some reason.
You were in there.
yeah, I was on TV, so PBC done a lot for my career, just give me that exposure.
Yeah, he was on TV. Just like Floyd Mayweather came out the Olympics. Floyd Mayweather was on TV, man. Another Sugar Ray Leonard was on TV. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, no. And that's why towards the end, Marvelous Marvin Hagler was like, man, I want Leonard, man. Leonard had that detached retina. That's when he said, I know everybody want to see me against this man, but it's not going to happen. Remember that? That was, after the detached retina and all those things. But that's why Marvelous Marvin Hagler had that issue. You know what I mean? So it kind of reminds me of Terrence Crawford a little bit. Terrence Crawford, he had to fight his way up a little bit more. When people start really getting to know Terrence Crawford, he was an older guy. He was around Gamboa and stuff. I mean, he was in his 20s, but I'm saying Terrence Crawford been doing this thing for a minute. Terrence Crawford been in the pound for pound rankings for Ring Magazine for a minute. But Errol the True Spence, he was in the public eye very early. Someone else was, I think Adrian Broner was kind of like that. You know what I mean? Keith Thurman came along a little bit later, but yeah, he was in the public eye out the gate.
They give me fights, and even if somebody didn't make weight or something like that, they got me another opponent where I didn't have to be like, oh, I'm not fighting this fight. I'll fight in 2 more weeks and things like that. And
Yeah. You talking about Samuel Vargas?
Just as development stage, and even right now, they done a lot for me. Even Al, he has done a lot for me, especially with with money wise and save my money and put my money in different investments and stuff.
Oh,
like that,
advisor.
Not
See,
only just a boxing manager. He want to make sure that everybody's good and you're good.
he want to make sure everybody's eating. That's why they talking about. He said he's an advisor. So those are the things you don't hear about.
But, when you retire for boxing, or when you want to retire for boxing,
Yeah.
He doesn't wait to that point. He was talking.
I want to say this. That reminds me of my man right here, and pick up his book, Dark Horse. Adrian Clark. He's good. He was good for that. He retired as a boxing manager, but he does protect yourself at all times. Talking about protecting yourself inside, outside the ring, though. That's what he means, and he has that about him. And that's him right there. Pick up his book, though. This is a great read. I'm not quite done reading it yet. My bad, AC. But where's AC at, right? But yeah, he says the same thing. Just retirement. There's no real retirement plan that boxing offers and stuff like that, and how to manage your money and stuff like that. So I love hearing that. Because what happened with Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker, we don't need that. With these fighters who are great and has given us so much, So yeah, I love hearing that. I actually love hearing that.
Talking about me retiring for boxing when I first started, when I was like 22 years old. He was like, we're gonna start talking about retirement. I'm like, what is he talking about, retirement? Like I haven't fought pro yet. He talking about retirement. But as I see it now, being 30 years old, he helped out a lot in my career, and made sure I was smart with my finances and stuff like that. So now he made sure that if I wanted to retire now, I could. So I'm
wow,
grateful for being in that whole stable with Al and the other fighters and PBC and things like that. It's a blessing.
Wow.
He seems to have a genuine love for you guys. Like he genuinely cares about your overall well-being. Is that fair to say?
Oh, definitely. It's definitely fair to say because, not only...
That may be one of the more biased questions I may have ever heard. But I get it, though. I understand. Because I just gave them a lot of love, too. But I'm just saying that right there, the way he did that was... But I get it. Give them love. Give them their roses when they can smell them. So I definitely get it.
With me, I'd heard about, different fighters, he done helped out or, made sure, gave them the option, he gave a lot of fighters the option, or do you want to, make sure your finances are good or do you want, all this money now and just blow it? So he just give the options. It's up to you to be smart. So, that's one of the things, because I was going to, one of the things, it was either Top Rank or Al when I first started professional.
What?
And, And
So you were split between the two. So
What?
those were the two major options.
Hold on. Did he just say that when he turned pro, it was going to be between Top Rank and the PBC? Hold on.
Yeah, there was two options. Top Rank was trying to give me a whole bunch of money.
Uh-huh.
And like Al wasn't trying to give me that much money. He wasn't trying to give me that much money, but he was like, you know, you stay focused and do what you have to do, you know, make sure that, you know, you're good and, you know, you don't have to want for nothing or anything, you know, later on in your career. But Tyrone was trying to give him money now, and then actually my dad, you know, convinced me to go with Mr. Heyman because he was like, you know, you two worry about right now. I'm a young kid. I want some money. I'm broke. I got about
You wanted all the money.
I got like $5,000 in my account. I'm like, man, I'm trying to go with Top Rank. They trying to give me a signing bonus, things like that. But, you know, I didn't understand, you know, I had to pay that back. And, you know, I wasn't talking about right now. He was talking about later on in my career. You know, I was too focused on the now instead of the later, you know, and Al helped me realize that actually my dad helped me realize that because I was worried about the now instead of the later.
Let me tell you something. That got so much. There's so many gems in that that I'm not even going to speak on it. There were just so many gems there. But you know, a lot of people ask, you know, why did Terrence Bud Crawford sign that extension at Top Rank and not go to the PBC where all the smoke is? And my response to that is always, I don't know his financial situation. I can't speak on that. I don't know. Whatever they did business-wise, he signed for what he thought was best for him, okay? With that said, what Errol Spence said kind of gives you a little insight. Top Rank got the dough. Top Rank going to say, hey, here's the money, okay? But the thing, what happened with Errol Spence was Errol Spence, though he may not be a better fighter than Terrence Crawford. I'm still in the air about that. But the way he was managed, being on TV early, getting that fight with Kell Brook so early. He grew kind of fast, you know, mega fight with Mikey Garcia, you know, financially. You know, the way they brought him along, having that fight with Sean Porter, he's gonna have that fight with Danny Garcia, possibly a fight with Manny Pacquiao because they all in the same stable. His career, as far as a welterweight, at least, is going to look better than Terrence Crawford's. Terrence Crawford has not yet had that fight, and a lot of my show business partners in this community was talking about, hey man, they're just talking. He's just talking, it's all talk. Well, Terrence Crawford just talking too. See, Terrence Crawford hasn't fought Errol Spence, and Errol Spence just talking. They're all just talking, okay? The difference is he has a better probability of being able to have those fights he's talking about because most of those guys he want to fight is in the stable. And that's why so many people criticize Terrence Crawford because Terrence Crawford, he signed that extension with Top Rank, but it's like, hey man, if you would have just you know, went over to the PBC, you would have had those fights. You would have been on stage. Not a lot of people know Terrence Crawford right now. You feel what I'm saying? I think Terrence Crawford is as known as maybe Sean Porter, but I can be wrong. You know, well, not now. After the Errol Spence fight, I think Sean Porter really shot up. I really do. But before then, Terrence Crawford, pound for pound guy fighting on ESPN. Terrence Crawford, he was known, but not as much as Errol the True Spence, okay? So, yeah, I mean, that's where the criticism lies. But Terrence Crawford did what was best for him. We can't speak on his wallet. We can't speak on his money, all right? But what Errol Spence said has given me a little bit of insight.
And, you know, helping me realize that, you know, that's how I sound with Al. And, you know, we talk often, and, you know, it's just nothing. I get nothing but genuine love for him. From this crooked game that boxing is very crooked. You know, I get nothing, you know, but love for him. And I feel like I've been sheltered a lot because I haven't, you know, been through anything that I hear a lot of boxers go through.
Wow.
Especially, you know, money-wise or different managers or, you know, promoters or things like that. You know, I haven't experienced it at all. I haven't experienced any crookedness and stuff like that, so. I mean, I'm just blessed to be in the position I am now, and it's rare.
Sugar Ray Robinson got busy.
Final two questions for you, Errol. I know that you're typically a quiet guy, but are you excited for the cameras to be back in your face and for press conferences to happen? I mean, because I tell you what, when you had that first presser with you and Sean Porter, and you guys started mixing it up in Las Vegas prior to Pacquiao Thurman, that was an Errol Spence that typically doesn't, that I don't hear from or that I don't see. And you guys are going back and forth. You tell him I'm going to knock him out. He was going back and forth with you. His dad was getting involved a little bit. But are you excited to get the cameras back and doing the press conferences and handling all the media week obligations before you step inside that ring?
Definitely. You know, I feel like, you know, it's my time now. This is my time. This is my time to shine. And, you know, like people like Adrian Bronner, you know, Tank and Robert Easter, they know my real personality. They know how I really am. And even
so how are you really?
Yeah, how are you really?
What is your real
How are you really?
You more of a jokester, kind of like to clown around a little bit?
I clown a lot. I clown around a lot, but you know, you'll see in the in the upcoming months and things like that once we get back into the the swing of things and stuff like that. But I am excited. I mean, I am excited for it, and you know, I'm glad it's finally coming back. You know, like I said, I got a second chance, so you know, I'm not taking it for granted at all, and I'm not taking this opportunity for granted at all. And, you know, I just want to show the world that, you know, Errol Spence is still the same, you know, not the same, but I'm even better and I'm more improved and stuff like that.
There you go. Speak some light. Speak light. I mean, we're in quarantine right now. There's a pandemic. COVID has taken out 11,000 Americans. Speak some light. Speak about being better. I like hearing that.
And finally, Errol, what do you want to tell all your fans that are watching all over the world as we continue to deal with this horrific pandemic of the coronavirus? And hopefully we see you back inside the ring and boxing is back. Because, man, I tell you, I miss it a whole heck of a lot, man. I miss being ringside, calling fights like yours and all the top quality world-class prize fighters around the world.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of YouTube fights recently, and that's something I got away from because before I used to watch YouTube fights all the time. I actually studied YouTube fights religiously, and that's something I got away from.
What's YouTube fights?
Back to now, just studying different fighters and stuff like
Talking
that.
about Sugar Ray Robinson against Jake LaMotta right
I
here?
tell everybody, you know, during this time, just to stay in the house, you know, stay away from people as much as you can. You know, stay close to your loved ones, speak to your loved ones. You know, especially, you know, your close family like mother and father and grandparents, stuff like that. And just praying for everybody and hopefully,
Much love.
you know, we get through this tough time and get back to, sports because I'm bored watching
Get back to normal.
documentaries and stuff like that. So,
Well,
you know, just everybody stay safe, man. Stay gloved up and, you know, keep the mask on and, you know, just keep praying for everybody. That's all we can do.
Hey, Errol, thank you so much for your time. Can't wait to see you back inside the ring. Hope your family, I know your grandmother in New York, all your family in New York, hopefully they are safe and sound. And we look forward to seeing you back at the fights and inside the ring before another Errol Spence fight as you defend your welterweight championship of the world.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Errol Spence Jr. joining us. That'll do it. We'll see you next week on Time Out with Ray Flores. Errol Spence Jr. joining us.
well, here's the thing. That was a great interview, Ray. Great interview. And here's the thing. Getting back to normal. I mean, yeah, we want to do that as quickly as possible. But I'm gonna say this. April 18th. Let's go! UFC 249. We will be going live for that, baby. ShowBizz, don't. Hey, let me know how you feel in the comments below. Thank you guys, man, so much for appreciating, my reaction to the first one. I hope you guys like this one the same way. I'm out.